Hi there, it's the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch, broadcasting loud and proud on the inappropriately named Bespoke Group UK channel. How are you? Okay, today I'm gonna talk about prayer and kind of like mystical experiences and that sort of thing. I will point out that all creationism and all ideas which suggest that the discoveries of natural science are a load of bollocks is a load of bollocks, and anything that I say in this particular video is not intending to go against the accepted natural sciences in any way whatsoever. The particular aspect of religiosity that I want to focus in on is the experience of prayer and essentially how it can be built up. Now, prayer, the word prayer implies a God concept, a concept of a supernatural being and or concept that you are attempting to either experience or communicate with. These concepts can be roughly, and I mean very roughly, split up into two different categories. On one side of things, you've got the anthropomorphized models or images in which you see or conceptualize of the higher power or God being as if it was a human being, and you would call it he or she, and maybe you would conceptualize it in a visual manner. The other interpretation is a little more mystical, and it implies a growth of the understanding of what this apparent or alleged imaginary supernatural being could be like. And that would imply mysticism, that would imply going deeper into ideas so that you can create a more transcendental model of what the higher power concept is. Now, I'm going to illustrate this because a lot of my audience are pagans, occultists, people involved in the New Age. I'm going to illustrate this with the example of Odin. But these two prayerful concepts can still be used with monotheistic ideas as well. Now let's take the image of Odin, the anthropomorphized image of Odin as a being or a deity. He might appear, so to speak, as being a man, maybe 8 foot tall, definitely male, with one eye missing and the other eye being radiant and possibly a missing light. The power of magic and the runic energy, so to speak, will be emanating from his being. He may appear in this anthropomorphized image, possibly clad in furs, but wearing a cloak which is billowing in the wind. And he may have a long beard, quite muscular, built, quite well set, but still rather thin and wispy. And in that respect, and with that image, you can get a good feeling as to what the personality or the energies of this particular character could be. He may be visualized or imagined carrying a hawthorn staff in blossom, for instance, which is another symbol of maybe his authority and power, but also there's a nature message there. He also comes with 2 ravens, Hunin and Munin. I think that's the pronunciation, I'm not sure. One of which stands for memory, and I think the other one is thought, I can't remember. And also he's accompanied by wolves as well. So you could say there's also a shamanic message there as well. But that's the anthropomorphized image, and if you're someone who wished to experience this particular being in an anthropomorphized manner, you would tend to focus much more upon the image of Odin the man, rather than something more mystical. Now, if you were to think about Odin, for instance, in a more mystical light, you might want to look into the myths. And the mythology states that he tore out his right eye and threw it into the well of all knowledge in order to gain wisdom. some of the myths that I've read, and I can't remember which book it was, so I can't give you a reference there, suggests that the eye, the right eye, which he threw into the well of all knowledge, blinks 13 times a year, thus making a suggestion that the night sky itself is a well of all knowledge, and his right eye is the moon. Therefore, his left eye, which is more constant, would be the sun. Therefore, if we go more mystically, we could say that the night sky, which would resemble dreams, is speaking about nighttime and entering into an altered state of consciousness, and also dreams are somehow reaching into the collective unconscious or another aspects of the human psyche as a means of gaining inspiration, gaining guidance, gaining knowledge. Okay, and it also infers that Odin is not just a man, but he is the night sky, that he is the sky during the daytime, he is the sun, and he is the moon. If we then refer back to the anthropomorphized image of Odin and the idea that he's carrying a staff, that's also a phallic symbol. It's speaking of sex and reproduction. It's also speaking of nature because it's covered in flowers. So not only is Odin the sun, the moon, and the sky during the night and the day, Odin is also everything which is alive and has breath in it, and possibly even the whole of nature itself. So Odin is everywhere. Now, if you were to do prayer and meditation using the concept of Odin, you would have to choose whether you wish to focus more on the anthropomorphized image of Odin, or whether you want to think more about what the word Odin, the All-Father, actually means, which could be nature, it could be the wind on your cheek, it could be every single molecule in the natural universe. And in your meditation, you may seek to try and experience oneness with this tremendous universal force, which is, mystically, Odin. Okay, just a quick summary of the ideas of prayer. And I'll probably do a bit more about other stuff soon. Good fortune, God and or Goddess and or none of the above bless. Have a great day, great and glorious, and be famous one motherfucking day. Nick Nutt signing out for now.